So, what is the difference between sleeping and meditating? Because in both we're closing our eyes, and in both we have sometimes have visions.
See, sleep is rest for the bones and muscles. Meditation rest for the mind. In sleep, you go into dreams where there is a lot of activity in the dreams. The mind is full of activity. The mind is not restful. But in meditation, no dreams, no thoughts. In meditation, the mind takes rest. In sleep, only the bones and the muscles. Sleep is good. Meditation is much better. We want sleep, rest for the bones and the muscles, and then we want meditation, rest for the mind. If you don't give rest for the mind becomes mad. Sleep is rest for the bones and the muscles. Because you've been working with the bones and the muscles throughout the day, they require some rest. So you give them sleep. But the mind is active, weaving out dreams. Okay. There are a lot of horrible dreams. Early morning you get up without any energy. Isn't it? Meditation gives rest to the mind. Sleep gives only rest to the body.
Happy morning and happy evening, friends and masters. Welcome to week 3 of this great, lovely 40-day gratitude program. And it's all about manifestation week. And manifestation science along with meditation is miraculous. And to hear from Chandra sir, these deep concepts are great. So without any further ado, sir, please take over. Thank you.
Thank you, Jayashree Madam. Happy morning, dear friends and masters. Afternoon and evening. Many famous people have consistently echoed the power of thought. Man becomes what he dwells upon, from Gautama Buddha. Adi Shankaracharya said, whatever you firmly intend and resolve, you bring that into reality. You do unto yourself what you believe, Jesus Christ. And there is research, and of course there are many, many business leaders, many, many spiritual masters who say this in businesses. This phrase is there. If you can see it, you can hold it. Business leaders use this phrase. If you can see it, you can hold it. That means it's saying if you can put in your vision, then you can bring it into your reality. See, it means before it is here, but you see. Where do you see? You see in your thought world. Gain the clarity of where a company can grow without a doubt. If doubts are there, whatever you try to think, then all of that become very fuzzy. You think one way, this is where I can go, but then there is some doubtful mind is there, then it clutters it, then that vision is not getting clear. That means perhaps it's not the way you go, or you don't have adequate knowledge about it to become clear about it. So then you think some other direction, think some other direction, think some other direction, but somewhere you are into your feeling. But whatever that may be, if you can see it, if you can see it, you can hold it. This concept of thoughts attract things, thoughts create reality, your beliefs create reality. Now, scientifically, while philosophically it's been there, scientifically also, we can explain it. There are enough evidences through something called placebo research. Placebo research is saying that when you give fake things to people, fake solutions, making them believe that that's real solution, it works. Whether it's a tablet, a fake tablet. As an environment where you fake it and make them appear as if it's real, then suddenly they become that environment, like an experiment from Harvard. If you live, for example, in a fort, which is representing, let's say, a 200-year-old fort or a building, and then if everything is there, and then people there are made to believe that they're living in that world, perhaps few days later they start feeling and acting like they come from that world, 200-year-old culture, which is what Harvard demonstrated in an experiment with senior citizens. That's called placebo research, that if sufficient number of people, of course, are doing this again and again, that if they believe that this is going to heal me, that is healing them. So the placebo research is there. And Dr. Joe Dispenza writes in his books, and cites so many cases. In one case, that a person, if you think through your thought that, yes, I am building my biceps, they build biceps without actually doing physically, but simply through the thought. They believe that, yes, I'm building biceps and doing things of biceps just by doing that feeling and doing this, then it builds biceps without actually physically moving a single weight. Mukthabhimano mukto hi baddho baddhabhimanyaha. This shloka is saying exactly that. Even this shloka is saying, this master is saying, even this shloka, that he's talking about liberation itself. If you think you are liberated, you are. If you think you are bound by all the tied up due to various things, then you are tied up. Mukthabhimano mukto hi baddho. If you think you are liberated, you are. That means it's saying it starts from there. No, I'm so tied up here. I can't do it. I have this job. I have that. Life is a suffering. Mukti means being liberated out of suffering. And if you think I am that way, you are that way. Go figure. Now, it's all from the thought. It starts from there. If you think, no, I've got mastery of my life, I am free, and then so you start from there and see what happens. It's called fake it till you make it. That's also there. Start from there. I am free. Okay, no problem. My family is putting pressure on me. No, I can make my decisions. I'm going to do this. My company is not giving me what I want. No, I have the power, so I'm going to do this. And I'm continually going to pursue them to receive what I want. Otherwise, suffering, no? You want and you plan many things, but they're not ready to give you what you want, they're suffering. Now, quantum physics has an understanding of it. Now, through quantum physics also, we can explain it. That observation manifests possibility, or there are any number of possibilities. If you're thinking a thought, how many ways one can think of a thought? How many ways you can have thoughts? How many thoughts you can have? Maybe that's the right question. How many thoughts each one can have? Can anybody answer that? And if thoughts create reality, if my beliefs and feelings create reality, so how many thoughts or feelings one can have? Anybody answer? Not what one has, but one can have. What's the limit? Is there a limit to how many thoughts one can have in their lifetime? If there's no limit, and if thoughts create reality, then technically then it must lead towards creating unlimited reality, isn't it? Now, if thoughts create reality is there without any fine print, then technically, then whatever you think must happen. First of all, unlimited reality. Second, there isn't specifically this is possible or that's possible. That's what all these statements are saying. So far, what I said, they never put a fine print and say, under these conditions, it won't work. Quantum physics terms also know that when you understand some experimentation, when you understand through quantum physics science that what we are truly inside as an energy being, it's all emptiness and energy inside of us. And that energy becomes matter through observation. Somebody has to think and feel about it. And so then they're physically creating an experience, depending on how effectively or impressively, how deeply they want to have it. Depends on, again, the direction of their thought and feeling. So this manifestation science, and if you want to understand manifestation science, we have to deeply, deeply experiment on thoughts and feelings create reality concept. We have to experiment on it. Because fundamentally, we are tuned in, we have been programmed into believing that it's the environment, it's the world which is causing this to happen. And so they're constantly focused on how to change, how to impress upon others, and then through our own words and actions, without necessarily fixing it in a thought world. And a thought world, we say, oh, will this guy do or not do? Will they do or not do? I don't think this is going to happen. This is a thought world. Whereas in the physical action, we're trying and then telling them, hey, do this, do this. The source is already negative. The source is in an opposing direction, sabotaging what we want to create. While here, in action, we are doing it with disbelief, with doubt, with uncertainty. So this concept is what we dwell upon this whole week, dear friends. But to begin with, we'll look to understand the placebo research. I encourage you to read You Are the Placebo book to understand in its all forms. What an amazing explanation that Dr. Joe gave, detail by detail of every case in many, many ways. And he also covers the quantum physics elements of it, that what, if we understand the quantum physics concepts about thoughts create reality. But even before that, and I've been talking about this whole 2 weeks, as I go into that emptiness, that feel, you get connected, you become one and whole. What's all that? So look to understand a bit of that today in the masterclass after the meditation. And those of you who attended this or listened to this, it's always great to go back and then contemplate into it. I still don't get many concepts in there. I talk about it. I think I understand, but I think every time I listen, there may be a little more to understand here. So we will, as a foundation, we'll look to understand in quantum physics terms, what is this existence? When someone says illusion or Maya, how can it be a little bit explained? What is this wholeness? When Adi Shankara said everything is Advaita, is all one, not many, what does that mean? There may be answered, and then of course thoughts create reality. So how is this that anything that I can think can happen in current position right now? How is it anything can happen, no matter what I'm going through right now? Because every thought is related to creation. So this understanding of quantum physics-based science can help a little bit. So we'll do that post meditation. First, our practice of meditation, dear friends. We are practicing, and welcome to anyone who joined today this program. You can go into day 1 and day 2 videos, recordings to know more about these techniques in depth, but we'll still talk about what we do here. And so we are practicing breath mindfulness meditation. So we'll quickly introduce the techniques so that we go into meditation. The goal of this meditation process is to empty the mind, or rest the mind, lessen the thoughts of the mind. We do this by observing the natural breath with our eyes closed. With your eyes closed, if you're wearing spectacles, remove them. Then we observe the natural breath at nose. When you observe your natural breath, slowly thoughts come down, mind becomes empty, and then starts resting. In the restful state of the mind, we are connected to an infinite field of quantum, and then many things happen. So the goal is to rest the mind, and you do this not by observing the thought, not by chanting, not by putting your attention on a god, goddess, or angel. Instead, it is simply by observing the breath with your eyes closed, putting your attention on nose somewhere, but there you observe the breath going in and coming out. So posture is there. Here in the picture, sit down in the chair, cross-legged, fingers into fingers, hands in your lap. On the floor, legs across, fingers into finger, hands in your lap. Closing eyes common for both of them, called breath mindfulness meditation. When I observe the breath, mind is getting empty. You experience emptiness and many things. Be in that state, witness all of it. In case you have thought and you notice thought, attention back to the breath. When you're in empty states, your attention may not be on the breath and it need not be. So you don't have to hold on to the breath for the whole duration. You start with the breath and slowly, as you go into empty states, you forget or you lose track of the breath or you forget that you're breathing. Either way, you're not with the breath anymore. As you're in empty states, be in that state. But if there's a thought, come back to the breath. So the only time you're coming back to the breath, after I lose track of it, is when there are thoughts. Otherwise, you're in that state of unknown, state of that energy or whatever that state may be, And so this is called breath mindfulness meditation. You spend maximum time here. Before you're doing it, you're going into a process called heart elevation. Just follow my guidance, dear friends. It helps to make this breath meditation more conducive, particularly for beginners. Relax yourself. With your eyes closed, dear friends, relax your body. Can your body from head to toe relax? Dear friends, with your specs removed, eyes closed, your hands on your chest area, resting your attention on your sacred heart. Feel. Your heart center with a slow, long, relaxing breath. Feel. This seat of all emotions, nurturing all life, connect with your heart center, dear friends. Love it. Appreciate it. The center of all emotions. this heart center, this center of high vibrations of love, compassion, appreciation, gratitude, nurturing our life, expanding our life. Feel it. And can you imagine of an experience of these higher emotions, of deep joy, of love, of kindness, helping someone in real need with simple acts of appreciation or expressing gratitude for many things in our life, whatever that takes you into this higher emotion, vibrations, or simply smell a flower, walking into the garden, spending the time. Imagine and go into that emotion, that experience. And feel that energy. The more you experience love, compassion, the more coherent you become with all things and everyone. Feel and allow yourself to direct this energy to everyone on this planet to help them heal. Where your attention goes, there your energy flows. Feel it, dear friends. And slowly, let's go into breath mindfulness meditation. Observe your natural in-breath and the out-breath, resting your attention at the root of your nose, in the middle of your eyebrows. When you observe your breath, my mind is becoming less and less of thought. As the mind is becoming emptier and emptier, allow yourself experience that greater emptiness. Merge into your breath and allow yourself to experience that calmness or emptiness inside of you, all around you. into that emptiness. Yourself. Everything and everyone are connected in this field of energy. And this is the field of all creation. Your higher mind the longer you stay connected to this emptiness, this energy, the more you experience that connection, the more complete you become. Friends, at this time, I'd like you to express gratitude gratitude to your parents, your teachers, mentors, friends, family, everyone in your life. Be grateful to this grand nature, the bird, the fish, and the animals. Gratitude to everything you, the technology, the company, the system, the governments. Gratitude to yourself and to this intelligent quantum field, the universe, for helping us experience this beautiful life. Gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership. Recollect your experiences from the session, and whenever you're ready, keep your hands on your eyes for 5 seconds and then open your eyes. Okay, dear friends. Hope you enjoy the session. So let me put up a few charts around this concept of quantum field, this limitless possibilities, that anything that we think is a possibility, and what quantum physics perspective, what experimentation have been done that may give us clues of how those possibilities become real. This will take about 20 to 25 minutes, this lecture, maybe a little longer. But those exploring this program must definitely want to give adequate time to understand these concepts that we cover today. Because all shift in life is happening through change in thought. Change in thought and connection to the field, two things are there. So the foundation principle for manifestation science that we're going to uncover this whole week is this, that our thoughts and feelings create our outer reality. This was very, very difficult for me to believe at first when I heard this in 99, 2000, 2001, because not seriously experimenting about it. But then later I started, and then it became a second nature that this is how things are working. If some of you have already shifted your understanding to this, please do write in the chat that this is how you operate your life now. Which means, of course, certain changes we make in the way we think, we speak, we feel, whatever we're communicating, certain words, certain things we remove in the dictionary. We don't even think that way. This is what is causing. If our thoughts create our reality, our feelings create reality. So do mention if this is your understanding and this is how you operate your life. So the quantum field, what quantum physics call everything that exists out there is called quantum energy field. Means all this multiverse, universe, multiverse, everything out exists. Earth planetary is a small part of this galaxy. Galaxy is a set of planets with sun as a star, right? First there is this solar system, planetary system is there, not galaxies. It's a planetary system is there, with sun as a star and the planets around it. Then you have several stars like sun, and all of it together is a galaxy, called Milky Way galaxy. Now the science says that there are at least 100 billion galaxies out there. In each galaxy containing billions of stars, so then you go figure, you have many stars, and so there are many planets around them, and so there are many moons around them, and then goes on. So now all of that, everything out there is considered quantum field or quantum energy field. That's from quantum physics perspective. So now that's in spiritual terms the Brahmand. The Brahmand that exists out there, right? In Sanskrit, it's called Vishwam. Everything we call real is made up of things that cannot be regarded as real by Niels Bohr, quantum physicist. Now it's all there as energy. That's called quantum energy field. Now we here on material world in this planet, now we consider everything and we see everything, touch and feel, sensory perceptions are there. So then we say, oh, this is real stuff. I hold it, I touch it, I see it, this is real. But quantum physics is saying this is whatever you're seeing real cannot be regarded as real. What we call real is made up of things that cannot be regarded as real. So they have an insight. Niels Bohr is saying, yes, you call this mic as real, laptop is real, mobile is real, but it is made up of something that is not real stuff. If you go inside of that mobile or a laptop or whatever that is into your body. Heisenberg is another very popular or impactful quantum physicist who says reality we can put into words is never reality itself. This is close to the statement by many philosophers or spiritual masters that the world is an illusion. This is what the reality is. Not reality, means it's an illusion. Like the mirage in the desert, like the rope in the night appears as snake. Illusion. The reality we can't put into words is never reality itself. Okay. So then if we explore, there are three understandings of quantum physics. We are less matter, more energy. There are unlimited possibilities out there and potential for each and every one of us to become that. And observation is manifesting the possibilities. Now, I've added V here for each one, but the quantum physics statements are there is less matter, more energy. There is unlimited possible potential in that field of energy. And then observation is manifesting that energy into matter. That's what the quantum physics said. Now, I added V to each of them because we become that. Now, so these statements are corroborated through these principles, ultimately leading to a common understanding we can derive that our thoughts and feelings create a reality. If you understand the left side 3, then come to some level of understanding, not exactly there, but we do know that, okay, there is something going on here. There's energy field. And if I can observe it, if I observe certain things that I'm looking to experience in my life, then they become real. So one can derive from this understanding of quantum physics. So the first thing here in order to do it is to recognize that in each and every one of us, or every object that you see here in this world, deep inside, everything is made up of subatomic particles. This is, we know this. This is, we have read this little bit of physics. There are molecules are there, atoms are there, then within an atom there are subatomic particles are there. So starting with the human body, organs are there, left side. Now organs, if you divide them, then you'll see that every organ has cells in them. It's made up of cells, right? A body made up of organs is further, you go inside, you find a lot of cells, skin cells, liver cells, neural cells, blood cells. In the blood, if you look at the blood cells, they're all made up of cells. Then the cell is further broken down, then it is made up of molecules. There are all these chemical stuff, substances. Water itself is a molecule. 70% of every cell in a body is made up of water. So it's a molecule, H2O, two hydrogen, one oxygen, right? Many cells have acids, right? Acids, we know this popular acid, hydrochloric acid. And many cells have salt. What the salt is, the chemical term for it, sodium chloride, which means NaCl or whatever. So all these are molecules, chemical compound substance. Then of course there are a lot more compound things called, this complex proteins and complex carbohydrates and simple carbohydrates, and all those formulas, split over here to understand them, but they are there. The molecules they're called, which are bound by multiple atoms. These are the elements that we understand the way we understood the element table. I used to dread remembering all those 106 elements then. Elements or atoms are at the deepest level independent entities that are there, which this whole universe is made up of. Iron, hydrogen, oxygen. There are gaseous elements, there are liquidous elements like mercury, and of course solid substances that we touch, feel, like iron. So if you look inside a body, ultimately come to atoms. Now you go further into the atoms, then we read and studied electron is there, a proton, or a nucleus is there in the center. The nucleus contains a proton and a neutron. Something that has no charge, something has a positive charge. So there is a nucleus in the center containing protons, for the simplicity here depicting proton, and then there is an electron, which is orbiting around the nucleus. Like planets around the sun, moon around the earth, there is electrons always orbiting around the nucleus. Seems like that is a construct for this entire universe. Everywhere things are orbiting around the other. So what we learned, deeply inside, ultimately, there is subatomic particles that are there. Now an organ in a body has billions and billions of cells. Each cell contains several molecules. Each molecule contains several atoms, right? A molecule like water contains 3 atoms, hydrogen 2 and oxygen 1. Now each atom contains protons and electrons and neutrons, many. So if I have billions and billions of cells containing, hundreds and hundreds of molecules, so eventually I end up having trillions and trillions and trillions of, ultimately, these electrons and protons, they're called subatomic particles. So we've got trillions of these particles that are there. And I've used the word particle here at this point because that's how we studied them. An electron is a particle. Particle means it has some shape and it has some weight in it. It's a particle. On the opposite of particle is wave. Something that has no shape, something is invisible, something that's energy that keeps traversing. So everything deep inside is made up of subatomic particles. Now, which is fine, which we understood if we just deep inside. Now, here is where the thing is, the rub is, when they looked at this atom deeply inside, the quantum physics do, that's their only job, is to look deeper, 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 deeper. When they looked at this atom, which contains, let's say, a proton and electron, in this case, the simplest one, which is they're presenting hydrogen. Now, when they look at this atom, they found astonishingly that 99.9999% of the atom is empty. So if you take an atom, any atom, in general, they found that the atom is empty by so much. So the first thing that we understand from the previous slide is that an atom being empty, all of it empty, and a body is practically all of it is empty, everything is empty. Only to the extent that tiny matter is that subatomic particles like electrons and neutrons. But what quantum physics found strangely is that even those subatomic particles like electrons and neutrons are also by default energy. What we thought as substances, particles, they're actually energy by default. That means they're existing as waves. They're existing as waves. So an atom is empty, except to the extent that particles like electrons and neutrons are there, but that is also by default energy, not matter. So everything in an atom where that emptiness is energy, but even the particles that are there that we thought are particles are also energy. So all of an atom is all energy, everything out there in the universe is energy by default. Energy means waves. It is just constantly going everywhere, intersecting with each other. So they discovered that these waves that are there are the atoms that are there as the subatomic particle like electrons are there as energy by default. But every now and then, when they're part of an element, and then you're experiencing element, and so they become matter to show up as physical nature. They become matter, and then they go back and become energy. They become matter, become energy. And so it's called a possibility. An electron, which is an energy by default, becomes matter in some cases, and then goes back into energy again, comes matter energy again. The possibility is then an electron is oscillating and oscillating, it's there vibrating as energy, and then becomes matter at some point when it's slowed down through thought. So it's called a possibility where it can show up anywhere. As for example, if you take water, now water when it is heated, when it's increased energy, then it becomes vapor. Now the vapor in the room, water is there, let's say on the table, or on the stove, we put water. It is there. You can see it right there only at the stove in a room. Now when you heat it up, the vapor, it becomes vapor. Now is it right there at the stove? Not. It is just there spread out everywhere in the room. That vapor is spread out everywhere in the room. So that means now when this vapor gets condensed, it can come down as water droplets, not just at the stove area, but everywhere in the room or anywhere in the room, isn't it? So the vapor gets condensed, it becomes water droplets, but not necessarily the stove, anywhere in the room. So that's called the electron having a possibility of becoming matter, but anywhere, it need not be right there. Okay, so it is there as energy is traversing. So the electron is there as energy, but it can become matter. And then how it become matter, we'll see this here in a small experiment. But it can become matter, it's called a possibility. And the possibility can show up anywhere. It need not be the same place, it can show up anywhere. That's called miracle. A person sitting here suddenly shows up elsewhere in another place. A person is there, and the yogis have done these miracles, and you are there, and then you disappear here, show up somewhere else. You become energy, show up somewhere else as matter again. Think of that as a gross analogy. So then everything as energy is one, not separate, but it's all interconnected. So in an energy field, when in a body, if you are all energy, now energy is waves. And so the waves are going, traversing in all directions. And so you are energy, I am energy, this laptop is energy, it's all by default energy. Now energy, like light bulbs of many, all becoming one light, is so then here as energy spreads out and they all become one energy, one field, not separate. Right? If a lake or a pond, if you throw 10 people throw 10 stones, there will be 10 waves, ripples are there, ripples of waves. Now those 10 ripples go spread out in all directions, isn't it? They spread out in all directions. All 10 of them eventually merge with each other, connect with each other, intersect. And then they'll form one single big wave or 10 waves. They'll all become one single big wave. And can you separate those waves? Once there are 10 ripples are there, 10 of them, they all become one. Is it possible to separate them? Impossible. Same way, we and each and every one of us are energy by default, according to quantum physics. And they are, by default, by definition, energy becomes interconnected, and so they're not separate. So every day in a meditation, I say that you are energy, and then you are experiencing that energy, and then in here you're interconnected, connect with each other. That's what the meaning is, that as energy we're one, as connected, as matter we're separate, individual. So this gives rise to many possibilities to become matter. So as energy we are there, and there's infinite number of particles which are otherwise are by default energy, these electrons, neutrons, protons. And they all, in infinite combinations are there of all of them coming together. Your particles, my energy particles, and then a Niagara Falls particles, all of that put together as a view that we would like to, and say, hey, you and I will go to Niagara Falls and experience that as a experience that we would like to see happen. And then we think about it. And so why think about it? But it's possible that all of that can come into matter to see. It's called giving rise to many possibilities, because many, many electrons, neutrons are there. Now, quantum physics is saying that when you observe, a subatomic particle becomes matter. So first of all, we are all simply energy. Everybody has single field connected to each other. That's called one. If you can experience that, you become one. You experience oneness. Second, these energy particles, what we thought particles, actually waves. They're all their infinite combination. So you take any combination of them, and so then they can become infinite ways. They can become matter. So that means everything that you can, what we say, the thoughts now that are there. Now thoughts become matter. Here is the connection. When you observe those particles, they become matter. So the infinite combinations are there, and when you observe, any subatomic particle becomes matter. If you observe a combination of them, they become matter in that combination. Okay. So how does that happen? And through this experimentation, about a 4-minute video that we're going to play, and then this understanding comes to a conclusion. So let me play this video. According to quantum physics, when they experimented, that these electrons are all there as by default energy, but then they were baffled and said, I thought it's ever always particle. That's why I'm seeing this whole thing as particle, but how come it's showing up as energy? So they wanted to really see what's going on. So they did this experimentation to see electron is really energy or matter. And they come to the conclusion energy. And so then how is it becoming matter? They come to the conclusion that if somebody is there as a conscious observer like you and me, then an electron as energy that becomes matter shows up there physically for us to see.
And here we are, the granddaddy of all quantum weirdness, the infamous double slit experiment. To understand this experiment, we first need to see how particles, or little balls of matter, act. If we randomly shoot a small object, say a marble, at the screen, we see a pattern on the back wall where they went through the slit and hit. Now, If we add a second slit, we would expect to see a second band duplicated to the right. Now, let's look at waves. The waves hit the slit and radiate out, striking the back wall with the most intensity directly in line with the slit. The line of brightness on the back screen shows that intensity. This is similar to the line the marbles make. But when we add the second slit, something different happens. If the top of one wave meets the bottom of another wave, they cancel each other out. So now there is an interference pattern on the back wall. Places where the two tops meet are the highest intensity, the bright lines, and where they cancel, there is nothing. So, when we throw things, that is, matter, through two slits, we get this, two bands of hits. And with waves, we get an interference pattern of many bands. Good so far. Now, let's go quantum. An electron is a tiny, tiny bit of matter, like a tiny marble. Let's fire a stream through one slit. It behaves just like the marble, a single band. So, if we shoot these tiny bits through two slits, we should get, like the marbles, two bands. What? An interference pattern. We fired electrons, tiny bits of matter through. But we get a pattern like waves, not like little marbles. How? How could pieces of matter create an interference pattern like a wave? It doesn't make sense. But physicists are clever. They thought, maybe those little balls are bouncing off each other and creating that pattern. So, they decide to shoot electrons through one at a time. There is no way they could interfere with each other. But after an hour of this, the same interference pattern is seen to emerge. The conclusion is inescapable. The single electron leaves as a particle, becomes a wave of potentials, goes through both slits, and interferes with itself to hit the wall like a particle. But mathematically, it's even stranger. It goes through both slits and it goes through neither. And it goes through just one and it goes through just the other. All of these possibilities are in superposition with each other. But physicists were completely baffled by this. So they decided to peek and see which slit it actually goes through. They put a measuring device by one slit to see which one it went through and let it fly. But the quantum world is far more mysterious than they could have imagined. When they observed, the electron went back to behaving like a little marble. It produced a pattern of two bands, not an interference pattern of many. The very act of measuring or observing which slit it went through meant it only went through one, not both. The electron decided to act differently, as though it was aware it was being watched. And it was here that physicists stepped forever into the strange, never world of quantum events. What is matter? Marbles or waves? And waves of what? And what does an observer have to do with any of this? The observer collapsed the wave function simply by observing.
Okay, friends. This experiment is showing that by default, the electrons are energy and they become matter when there is an observer that came into picture. When there is no observer, it experienced as matter, as energy. But observer is there, then it is becoming matter. Observer is not removed, then it is becoming energy. Right. If you re-listen to this, go back and listen to this again 2-3 times, you will understand this little more, little better. But this you have to understand the concept of what is an interference pattern into a wave to know this little and that easily decipher. Right. But the summary of this is that by default, all these electrons are there as energy. Electrons are the particles in our body, are in every way. And they're all by default energy, that means invisible, but they become particle when there is an observer, if not otherwise, right? Now you're connecting that to observation creates possibilities, connecting that to now every physical event. Now ultimately it's all about life is full of experiences. You're looking to have some experiences. So every physical event leading to an experience for us is an appearance of many, many, many subatomic particles. If I'm saying that example that you and me go to Niagara Falls and we then experience it, and that is an event, and I'd like to have, then it is an appearance of your and mine, and then the Niagara Falls, and potentially along the journey, whatever that we use, all of that all of that energy particles are these electrons, neutrons of that becoming matter through an observation. If one electron can become matter and a stream of electrons as they're observed become matter, then any number of combination of electrons that we can hold our attention to can become matter. Right? So what is holding our attention to? It's simply imagining and say you and me putting our attention to becoming traveling there and then doing there in Niagara Falls, whatever that is. And if you're saying I'll go to the Mary of the Mist, that the thing that goes you close to the waterfall, then you are thinking and imagining that you and I are there in that Mary of the Mist ship, and then it takes you close to the water, and then there's water, all that mist is coming onto you, overpowering you and overwhelming you, and all that is there. And to the extent you can imagine, to that extent you gain that experience, because all of that is becoming matter. That's the observer concept. So observation is your thought and feeling of an experience. Your observation is a thought and feeling and experience. That means you're imagining, first you're constructing what that is, and you're feeling about it in your body, which produces more thought, more energy. And so observation creates possibilities. We derive difference that, if electrons become matter, then you take any combination of electrons, and then you think about them, you feel about them, you dream about them, you visualize about them. And so then they become matter. So when I'm open and focused mind, open mind is saying, and if I am wishing to become a great scientist, or if I want to travel to the moon, or if I want my business to become 100 times more, or I simply want to get a promotion where I thought in my group, there are 5 other people who are far more technically credible or far more skilled than me, and so I don't ever get it. Now that's called closed mind. With an open mind that, okay, I am there. Now, where is that open mind coming from? How many possibilities are there in this field? Infinite possibilities. Anything can become matter. So you experiencing that promotion, you experiencing 100% growth of your business, you experiencing a great health in your body, you experiencing the travel to the moon, whatever, however unthinkable they may be. But that possibility is there because it's simply taking those electrons and becoming matter. So it's called infinite possibilities. Everything is possible. So can we be open about it? Now we are so conditioned to feel and think that, okay, now this is a linear reality. Now there are so many people in front of me who are very more talented, and so company is going to give them the promotion, not me. This is how we conclude to ourselves. So we observe that negative reality of what we don't want because of the limitation condition that we have. So the openness is not there, instead closeness is there. For everything we conclude. I say, hey, come and attend next year the GCML in Delhi. Oh, GCML, I'm here. I don't think I can be. Immediately in your mind thinking, oh, it cost me $10,000 to go. My family, impossible. I know. Chandra is saying, but how is it possible for me? No, I have my grandmother, grandfather, they're all there at home. I have to take care of them. It's not possible. You think right now, reasons of how it's not possible. as opposed to staying open, because who knows, your best of the friends can come, and then maybe they'll take care of your grandparents who are there. So many things can happen by that time, depending on your intention, right? So when you're an open mind, and then of course, then your target focus, that means when you're visualizing and thinking about what you're looking for, then you can manifest matter. That means you can create your experiences to your friends. And meditation develops this open and focused mind. This understanding that there are infinite possibilities, the understanding that is experiment through experimentation, when you start experiencing some miracles. So now that you understood here, and then you can simply think about now in this program you are there. And I challenge you to say, take up a small experience that you seek to have right now. Right now, you seek to have, let's say, hey, I would like to see a live elephant. Maybe. I don't know. Just say that, right? Anything. Doesn't matter. Take something that you feel like you can conquer. Now you say, okay, I'm going to become president of America right now. Sure, no doubt, you're going to become president of America if you want to really start focusing on it. Take something that is, you feel like you can conquer it. Richard Bach said, I want to see a bird feather. Is it really? Is it going to show up? I want to see a bird feather. And he thought about it. He sat for lunch or dinner. And then as going through the dinner, by the time halfway through, he saw a bird feather floating by outside the window. Take something and see what happens, and then think about it, feel about it, and see what happens in the next couple of days or 3 days. If you actually see that elephant, or you actually see something that you wanted, a call from your friend that you always kept him or her aside for a long time. Okay, whatever that is, see it. Or a positive appreciation from your manager. Is it going to show up to you? Just think about it. And imagine that if a manager is giving you appreciation, see what happens. Why not? It's fun, right? So, dear friends, the idea of this is that a breath mindful meditation. Now, there is this thing, if you observe, energy becomes matter. Now, if you don't observe, energy disappears, the matter disappears. In our meditation every day, and if you just relate it, in our meditation every day, you know what we are doing? We stopped observing about ourselves and everybody and everything in the universe, in this material world and the planet. We stop observing about ourselves, because what are we doing? We are removing the sensory perceptions and we're removing the thought. Thought is all about everything that you ever known. Even in galaxies, solar system, that and that, everything we known. And thoughts are removed, means all of that we know are removed. Even if the past is removed, your thoughts are removed, your past is gone, your time is gone, your space is gone, because senses are removed. So you stopped observing about yourself and everything that is there around you, and that's why you move and then you disappear into energy. Are you with me on this? When you remove your observation of material self through, which is nothing but time and space, and that is indirectly through drawing senses out, withdrawing sensory perceptions, and then removing thought. And so these two are gone, time and space is gone. So then you are forgetting about, then you are withdrawing attention of the matter. So you go back to energy. You merge with it. So that's why people don't find themselves in deep meditation. They say, I don't know where my body existed. My fingers didn't exist. I feel this energy everywhere, because we remove attention off the matter. So becoming energy. You're becoming that field of energy. Now, energy, as we just gone through, it's all one. There is only one single field. There are no many fields. Everything is connected. So you become that whole. That whole is Brahman. That's what is, everything that exists is Brahman in spiritual science. So then you are suddenly that Brahman is called Parabrahma. Contains many Paramatmas, Jesus Christ, and Gautama Buddha, Vigneshwara, Lord Shiva, many Paramatmas. Then from there comes then Atma, then you and me, and then many people who are into Buddha's consciousness is, the suffering through understanding is removed. Jesus Christ consciousness, love. So those who are there of that nature of love are Jesus Christ consciousness. From that comes many, many Atmas like us, there are many of us. And so all of that is all one. That Adi Shankaracharya said as one, there are no dual fields, only one field. So that whole field is that, and that many of these subfields are there as connected to each other. Right? And electricity, there is a main station, substations, grids, everything is all connected as one only. It's our single field of energy going and connected. It's just that they're stored elsewhere, different places. Right? So, dear friends, So the concept, the understanding that when you meditate and every thought is a person, about a person, place, or a thing in a given time frame, and you train ourselves to observe the breath with eyes closed slowly, mind becomes empty of thought, and then you're withdrawing senses, so you lose sense of matter. Then you start experiencing what is innately inside the energy, the quantum field of energy that we just talked about. That's what we experience, we become of it. The more you are with this field, the more you experience that field. So the more familiar become of the field. So then the more you gain the properties of the field, which is you become more open, you become more unlimited, you become more connected. All right. The more you go into a park near a home, the more you understand everything in the park, the more you experience the park, isn't it? Initially, one time you go, you only notice a few things. You go a second time, and a third time, and a fourth time, you notice more and more things. And then the more flowers you see, the more smell, all of that is there, the more you appreciate nature, the more you become a nature lover, so eventually become nature. Nature and you are one. You just become so one with it. So that's the concept. When you go into this quantum field of infinity, everything that is, which is called consciousness, God stuff, then you become that as you experience it again and again and again. It's a process. You become that. Right? That's why a man becomes divine when you meditate. A right meditation, when you lose yourself, that is the key. Don't hold on to your form in meditation and say, this is my meditation. You're holding on to your form of a master, then you're never there, you're never losing yourself to become the whole. So they're not right meditations at all. They're just processes that get you there. But the right meditation will lose yourself completely with an intention to experience the whole. So then, dear friends, then you become the whole. So the point then is that our thoughts and feelings create a reality. First of all, we're observing the whole. You become the whole. That's a different concept. But then in this lecture, we also understood that energy becomes matter through our observation, which is thought and feeling. Right, friends? So thank you very much for understanding where we started to be here. Observation manifests possibilities. So you experiment, make it a strong way of life. And so then everything comes. So there's a foundation. We're going to develop on this into these 5 sutras tomorrow onwards and then explain some of them in this week. Thank you very much. Ajay, madam, any announcements?
Yes, sir. Friends, it's Monday, so it's time for book club. So we have 2 batches, morning 8:15 to 9:15 a.m. and evening 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. IST. These are the IST timings. And the book is Conversations with God. An amazing book. And I'll be posting the details in the chat. Yes. So please don't miss out the sessions. That's it, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you all, dear friends. See you tomorrow. Thank you.
It's the gift to realize that
All that I am, all that
We cannot hear you, Namita ji. At least I couldn't hear a single word you said. So please do something. And the chat is closed too, so we cannot
Yeah,
write a
actually,
chat.
pop-up window was there. I clicked, and here at my screen it was
Yes, I can hear
on
you.
mute.
Thank you so
That's
much. So,
why. Yes, yes. No. I was saying stage is open, but what is the biggest takeaway from today's session? Don't use your energy to worry. Use your energy to believe, to create, to grow, and to heal. This is what I was saying. So yes, stage is
so
open
true.
now. Stage is open now. Your questions, your doubts, and your experience are more than welcome.
So I can
Yes,
share.
Paritana. Yes, sure.
I mean,
Yes, I can hear you, ma'am. Yes.
Wonderful. So I have a habit of overthinking, and I am so grateful that, listening to Chandra sir again and again, reminding that your thoughts and feelings can create reality. And now, again, as an overthinker, and I'm going, oh, so all these people in the world who are creating havoc. So, see, instead of observing myself, I go and observe others, say, oh, they all are creating havoc because this is what they wanted to create. But the truth is, I need to observe myself. What am I doing? Right? And slow and steadily, I observe myself, and I'm seeing a difference in me that, okay, I observe that what am I creating for myself? I'm not creating the future I want for myself. I'm so possessed by what is going wrong in this world that I'm not focusing enough on myself. And I'm bringing a change in me that I am responsible for what I observe. And if I observe my breath and I connect to these trillions of cells of energy inside, then I will be able to bring a better change. So it's a slow process, but it surely is working. So thank you, Namita. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much for sharing, ma'am. Yes, I was also very, very hesitant initially to manifest. How can I manifest? There were a lot of things going on in my mind. But after listening to many sessions, attending many sessions, somehow I realized that after all, it is a science. Why not apply it in our day-to-day life? And by default also, when we practice meditation, we are replacing the negative thoughts with positive thoughts, at least, if not miraculous, in that state. So by default, we are also creating something better for us. This is what I felt, and when I tried to implement it, I experimented it, as you might have listened to Chandra sir, and why not start exploring it? So without taking further time, I would just like say, I started my manifestation journey with all of a sudden, someone had asked, he thought, we are human beings, and this is the neocortex, this is conscious mind, is the, say, it is a virtue gift to the human beings. And very few animals where this, I would say, neocortex is well developed. So yes, we can, Dr. Dawson Church is saying, think deliberately, use this gift of consciousness to your maximum capability. This is what he had said in his book, Mind to Matter. So yes, I started my manifesting journey with just a thought came to my mind, ki, why not see a peacock? And I live in a concrete society, of course, and on the third floor. So certainly peacock cannot fly to that level. And all of a sudden, what is the thought? It had come. Then after a few hours, I started watching a match, live match on TV. And normally at that time, I was not watching TV. For years, I had not watched. So the moment I switched the TV on, the ad for the Kohler company was being aired on the TV. It was for wash basin, and that color was typically mauve color was showcasing that wash basin, and they had compared to the image of the peacock, full flown, that in the dancing position, that peacock was there. I was amazed to see, my goodness, just 2-3 hours before something like that I was thinking. But yes, as sir had said, you may across the real one, and you may come across the picture of that thing. So I started believing in, and now I firmly believe with the practice of meditation, I don't even need to manifest. Whatever has to come my way is coming. That I will share in the coming days. Not to take away the time of yours. Please do share your thoughts, your takeaways, your experience. Yes. Yes, please raise your hands. Yes, Kirangi. You just ensure that our audio is of right quality at your end, because there is some kind of difficulty while listening you. Sir, Balaji's question, what are the roots of the thoughts and how they are generated? It is the mind, sir. Our mind is said to be the thought factory, and it's electrochemical signals. Constant change of information is taking place. For even if every microsecond, so many neural connections are getting formed, and whatever signal we are getting through from our environment, that in the form of that response or reaction. So thoughts, you can say, it's just mind is a thought factory, and thoughts, you can say, mind. This is what I would say. This is, and human beings, it's natural to have thoughts. As you might have heard in the guidance, thoughts are like clouds in a windy sky. When you recognize them, just let them go, and then move your attention back to your breath again and again and again. Anyone can speak. Yes. Yes, sir. Mehboob, sir. Just a minute, Mehboob, sir. How can I unmute you? Just a minute. Yes, sir. Please unmute yourself. Can I request the technical host, Sai, to please?
Sir, ma'am, I done.
Yeah, yes. Yes.
Yeah. You can unmute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Namaste, everyone.
Namaste, sir.
A few days ago, in this wonderful daily sessions of meditation, a book was recommended, When Breath Becomes Air, by Dr. Paul Kalanithi, the late Dr. Paul Kalanithi. He passed away, unfortunately. He was a neurosurgeon or cardiosurgeon. And he, I believe, is of Indian origin and married to an American wife. This book was amazing. It was recommended here. I didn't even know about this book till I joined these meditation sessions. And actually, I Googled to find out more about the book, and I was fortunate enough to download a PDF copy. So you can actually read it like an ebook. And I would like to share with the friends here the link to that. So may I put that on the chat now, and will everybody be able to see it?
Yes, sir. You can type the link.
I've just typed it in. Is everybody able to see it?
The chat is disabled, so we are not able to see anything.
Oh, really?
At least on my side, for some reason.
Madam Namita, are you able
I can see
are
it,
you
sir.
able to actually copy that and then put it on from your chat,
Sure,
then others
sure,
can
sir.
see you?
Let me see, sir. Yes. Can you read now?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Yes.
Then everybody else gets it, right?
Yes.
I have yet not received it. I don't know. It says on my end that chat
Oh,
is
it is to
received.
host and panelist only. Yes.
Okay, so when others come as a panelist, then they'll be able to see what you post, Madam Namita.
Yes. Actually, I am also getting used to this webinar, sir. Yes.
So, okay, let someone else take over the screen and you can post it to them. And please enjoy this book. I really enjoyed it. I almost had tears in my eyes as I read it. Thank you. Namaste, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for
Thank
sharing.
you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, sir. And
Welcome.
yes, dear friends and masters, as we say that dream is not which we see while sleeping. It is something that doesn't let us sleep. This is are the famous words by Dr. APJ Kalam. So hopes
Right.
and dreams are essential for our future.
Yeah, that's true.
It is so true. And
True.
of course, without them also life is not interesting. But dreams always ask us for our energy, effort, and persistence.
Yeah, I remember Dr.
Being,
Kalam's favorite quote: "The dreams
exactly.
that you see when you are awake are the ones that really
Exactly.
matter."
Yes, 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 yes. So manifestation is giving us that energy, sir. We that extra effort, that energy, because we are conserving energy
Yeah.
with practice of meditation. And the key is to provide the maximum energy to our thought for manifestation.
Okay.
Meditation unclutters the mind. Agreed. I think everyone will agree. It is giving us the clarity of thoughts. And when we empty our mind
Yeah.
with thoughts, then whichever thought is introduced into our mind at that point of time, at the state, that is getting the maximum energy supplied, isn't
Right.
it? So
Yes.
this thought plus energy, that energy we are conserving, that energy being applied to that thought, that results in the matter, that is the manifestation.
That is
So
the
the
mind.
key is to provide the maximum energy to our thought for manifestation. That's why Brahmarshi Patriji says that meditation plus visualization is manifestation.
Yeah, that's true.
So be with
The,
your
in the modern way of talking, people talk about the law of attraction after the book
yes,
Secret came out.
exactly. Yes, yes,
Thank you.
yes. Yes, Kirangi, I can let you speak. Sai, can you make Kirangi
Okay,
the
okay.
panelist? Let us see. I hope we are able to hear you properly. Everyone is able to hear you. Sir, Balaji sir, yeah, now I am seeing your question, and I think it related to subconscious mind. So subconscious mind is just our what is basically when we are repeating that thought again and again. When it becomes our habit, then it is getting stored in our subconscious mind. Thereby, it becomes our habit. When we repeat it. So that's why subconscious mind is said to be the illogical mind. And then it is the conscious mind that is doing the job of thinking, learning, decision making. And yes, it is the subconscious mind that is driving most of our activities, more than 90% of activities. So what meditation does? Meditation is basically expanding the use of conscious mind because there is so much distraction. We are so much distracted. We are not able to use our conscious mind. It is expanding the use of conscious mind, that capability, and reprogramming the subconscious mind. So you will come to know in detail in the coming days as Sir will cover all these topics in detail. I hope I am able to answer your question. Thank you, sir. Yes, Kirangi. Please unmute.
Hello. Actually, I just share in chat. Am I audible now?
Not so clear. Sai, can you hear Sai? Yes,
Ma'am,
please continue. Yeah, continue.
his network is low.
Yes.
Okay. Because in my room maybe there is a network problem, so I don't know.
Some disturbance is coming from your side.
Yes.
No problem. I just typed in a question answer section that my experience, because I want to just share that today the video was playing right about matter and energy. So that video I watched it before also, but like I don't understand. Okay, I just understand the concept of what sir told, but actually I didn't feel like I understand. But like today itself, I just understand. Okay, I was clear about the concept, and maybe yesterday or day before, I just read about it in the book of plus. You are the placebo. So after that, today I watched the video, matlab, see the video in session. So now I can clear about the concept. So I just wanted to share that after watching 4 to 5 times, now I can see clearly that I can understand the concept about. At first, I don't know, don't. I'm just like it just go like out of my mind, and I don't understand. But right now, I can clearly understand the concept. I just wanted to share that.
Yes. Thank you, Kirangi. Very rightly said. No one can understand. Very few, very few will understand the video at first go itself. It take time. At least in my case, also it had taken so many times. I might have watched the video, and every time I listen to sir, every time I feel like it's my first time. But you are right. You are the placebo is also the right book. You will gain more clarity about regarding manifestation, how to implement this in your day-to-day life, be it in every aspect of your life. This is what that book is telling us. It must read, and it is included in the recommended books of list also. So yes, thank you so very much, Kirangi, for explaining it. And this is what, when you have to read it again, you have to watch it again. That information you are storing and rewiring in your subconscious mind. When it is properly rewired, then only it is getting stored in your subconscious mind, and then you are able to understand it fully. Otherwise, with inadequate neural glue, it will just wash off. So you have to, unless until you totally understand it, you have to watch it few times. That is the case, I believe, for most of us. So please do watch the video if you had watched it for the first time, and then you will have the clarity. And it is very interesting. Manifestation science is a really very interesting technique, and we can always use it in our day-to-day life. We can start exploring from today itself. So thank you so much. Anyone would like to say or share? You are welcome. Otherwise, we can conclude this session. So yes, dear friends and masters, be with your breath. Have fun and frolic with your breath, and keep meditating. Happy meditating. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank
You.
you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
What do I want? What do I desire? What will bring me to my highest good? What do I want? What do I desire?